All right, so we're live. Welcome back to Dapp University. So today we've got a lot to cover in our live stream. A lot's happened since the stream that we did yesterday. You know, if you're new around here, just tuning in for the first time, we do these live streams Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Central Time, just about. And today I'm going to talk about what's going on with the cryptocurrency markets. We got a lot of surprises this morning that I want to talk about. Okay, lots of other news about people in the space really lasering in on Ethereum and DeFi. We're seeing mainstream media attention about this and a lot more. So before we get into that, if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to become a blockchain master step by step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. So it looks like my camera's getting a little funny here. Let me just fix that. Let's try that again. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the markets here. So this is probably one of the biggest surprises of the entire week, maybe the entire month. Dare I say it, the entire year. Well, maybe not the entire year, but Dogecoin, okay, is just going crazy. All right, we saw this earlier this year. We saw Dogecoin start to take off. Elon Musk tweeting about it. Lots of other people getting on the Dogecoin hype train. Okay, sort of this meme coin that people are just like pumping like crazy. And to be honest, it surprised me back in January when it first started. And I was thinking like, oh, hey, that was cool. That was the big Dogecoin pump. And then it was probably just going to die down and not do much later. But it's come back with a vengeance and it's surprising everyone. And the cryptocurrency markets have been going up like crazy. We've been seeing the Coinbase effect this week. Lots of gainers in the top 10, and even down, right? And down the market cap list. Seen a lot more gains. We have smaller market caps for sure. But we saw a big correction yesterday. Not a big correction, but things were going up really well, and then it started to really cool off, and then we started to see this little bearishness. And then among the bearishness of pretty much everybody, Doge is just blasting off to infinity here. And so it begs the question, are people selling out of their positions in some of the other coins to chase this Dogecoin pump? Okay, are people selling ETH? Are they selling Bitcoin to maybe just a small amount of their portfolio even to get on this Dogecoin hype train? So as always, not financial advice. I'm not telling you to do that, but it looks like a possibility with what's going on here with the markets. I mean, sure, there's lots of other ways you could explain Dogecoin, like just totally outperforming everybody else. But I think there's something to the notion that people are, kind of changing lines at the grocery store, so to speak here. So what do you think? Let me know down in the what do you think down in the comment section below? Since people say, is Doge even a good coin, judging as a developer? It's a good question. So, this is not financial advice. I personally would not hold a large amount of money in Dogecoin. It was never really designed to be, like an industrial strength project or anything like that. I wouldn't put a lot of faith in the integrity of the actual blockchain itself. That being said, I mean, I don't spend a lot of time, kicking the tires with Doge and doing like technical audits or anything like that. But it's not the kind of thing that I would, personally hold my life savings in from a technical perspective. I'll put it that way. So, anyways, I mean, this is just absolutely nuts. So, Dogecoin, I mean, it flipped Cardano. It could like very realistically flip Binance Coin. I mean, it would take a while for it to flip something like Ether. I don't think we'll see that happen. And of course, this could be the long-term top for Doge. Who knows? Not financial advice. I mean, all all bets are off at this point. This is just crazy. This is crazy. I have a hard time believing this is real, that we'd see Doge in the top 5 like this for any amount of time. So let's go ahead and check on what's going on with the other cryptocurrency prices. So let's check on Ether. So like I was saying a minute ago, Ether is, we had a good day yesterday. We hit, let's see if my internet will actually work here. I don't think it's my internet because my stream's doing just fine. I think it's probably just a connection to CoinGecko. So maybe people are on the CoinGecko website just like, rage refreshing, trying to check the Doge price. Somebody says they didn't have a life savings until this week. Well, I hope that crypto is treating you well. All right, so I'm having a hard time checking the ETH charts here. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll switch to a different website. So yeah, things were going well yesterday. I was a happy man. We saw ETH, go up to $22,537. Looks like is that our all-time high? See what the actual all-time high listed here is. Yeah. $2,544. And then we saw everything kind of go down rather quickly as Doge was going up rather quickly. So yeah, felt really good about that. Super excited to see their ETH all-time high. I mean, things are going strong for ETH. Let's hope they continue going on that direction. As always, not financial advice, not a big trader, not a big TA guy, just looking at the big picture here. Bitcoin, okay, back down to 60,000. We got up to, what's our all-time high here? 64,804. It's crazy that we're seeing these like $4,000 swings in the Bitcoin price at this level, because I mean, this time last year, don't forget, like when we saw the big dump in March about this time last year, March of 2020. So, a little over a year ago, we saw it was like a $5,000 dump roughly. And so you see a $4,000 dump here. I mean, the percentage changes, so it doesn't affect you that much, but still the total amount is crazy. It just shows you the difference in how much attention there is in this space right now, how much their activity there is compared to where we were last year, this time last year about. So anyways, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Let's go check on some on-chain metrics here. I kind of want to see where the market froth is. So I always try to tell people what's going on with the on-chain metrics. So basically, we're analyzing the actual blockchain itself. I really like it because, again, I'm not huge into TA. I like to look at the big picture stuff, and I'm a blockchain developer. It's what I do, and so I like actually analyzing the blockchain itself to understand, sort of what's going on. So our metric, just pull up the chart here. See, we are currently at our yesterday we closed out at 0.7. So we're trying to stay away from 0.5. We don't really want to go above 0.5. If we do, that typically indicates some period of euphoria, okay? Which, if history is any indication, every time we see euphoria, we go for some sort of long-term bear trend. So, yeah, we're seeing some chop right now. With the Ethereum price, Bitcoin price, $2,500 plus, $64,000 plus, and then a correction by 4 or 5%. Of course, it sucks. People lose money, but it does give us more headroom, and so that will likely give us a little more room in our Newport chart. So let's move on to some mainstream media attention, because this is always really, really good for DeFi. It's good for Ethereum, especially when we're talking about the technology that we're building underneath and attracting outside attention. We talked about this in the Coinbase IPO. Okay, so Coinbase IPO happened this week. Direct listing to the NASDAQ. We talked about how that can be good for crypto for lots of reasons. One of the big reasons is basically just attracts attention to the outside space. When people see a publicly traded company that's a cryptocurrency exchange, it validates technology, validates the actual cryptocurrency itself. It elevates the status of cryptocurrency in people's mind as a serious thing. People are all about social proof. When they see people like Elon Musk or Tesla buying $1.5 billion for the Bitcoin, it changes how they think about it in their mind. Okay, now that won't convince everybody, but when you start to see other big names like jump into the space and buy Bitcoin, people start thinking like, hey, I have to take this stuff seriously. Similar type of thing whenever you see, a publicly traded company or a cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase, one of the biggest one in the United States, as far as I know, becomes publicly traded, it just changes how people think about it. Okay, so another thing is this, mainstream media attention, and also positive mainstream media attention, and I would also add accurate mainstream media attention is also really great, particularly for DeFi, particularly for Ethereum, and that's what we're seeing yesterday. So I'm going to pull this up here on my screen. This was from CNBC. So here you go. So this is a clip from CNBC. I'm going to play this. I'm going to test this out, see if it actually works on my computer here. It's a pretty good interview. Let's just go to see if my theater will work. All right, so I won't be on camera, but that's okay.
Hey, Courtney, investors are hoping that the Coinbase debut is just the beginning for the crypto economy. You may have heard this buzzword recently, DeFi, or decentralized finance. It's an effort to make the rest of the financial world more like Bitcoin. If you think of how the economy works right now, most things are controlled by either a company, a government, or some sort of central authority. So those would be centralized. Bitcoin, meanwhile, is a currency that's not controlled by a government or any other authority. So that's decentralized. In this case, blockchain technology replaces the middleman to keep track of everything. Advocates say that it increases transparency because you can track transactions on a public ledger. Startups are looking to take this same concept to other parts of finance. Some are building decentralized stock exchanges, so they call it a DEX. There's another buzzword for you. Others are taking on mortgages, loans, and other banking products. A lot of these startups are built on the same infrastructure or network. So Ethereum has been the main platform developers are using for these decentralized apps. Think of this as kind of an open source, easy to use blockchain building tool that can be tailored to lots of different uses. Most NFTs, for example, are built on that technology. Coinbase bulls have argued that that crypto exchange is already a leader in the space and stands to benefit from the so-called DeFi economy. That, they say, could help justify some of those high expectations baked into the stock price. Guys, back to you.
All right, so I'm gonna kill the feed here. So anyways, that was a pretty great clip, to tell you the truth. I mean, sometimes we see really bad takes about cryptocurrency, NFTs, all that kind of stuff by the mainstream media, but she did a really great job. I mean, the accuracy of that was pretty good. You know what I mean? So they're talking about DeFi, talking about why this is such a huge paradigm shift. We're talking about, I mean, we heard a lot of sort of deep keyword, like lower part of the funnel keywords. Like, we're not talking about just cryptocurrency blockchain. We got DEX, we got Ethereum, we got DeFi, all the things that we're actually doing with this technology that people are actually using today. They did a pretty good job of it. So, this is the type of coverage that we want. This is what people to say things accurately. And this is important. We're starting to see this kind of bubble up into mainstream popularity here. So this is really big for the space. So we see more people kind of doing the same type of thing. We saw the CITI Bank report. Let me pull this up here. We saw this. So CITI Bank, let's just pull it up here on my screen here. So CITI Bank actually talking about a report about MakerDAO. Okay. So this is more about DeFi. So if you're not familiar with MakerDAO, basically what it is it's the project that basically makes DAI work. So DAI is a stable coin on Ethereum that's huge for the DeFi ecosystem. So MakerDAO is a decentralized stable coin, so it's backed by multiple cryptocurrencies that give it its value. So we have different stable coins like USDC, for example. It's a fiat-backed stable coin. And so it's backed by actual fiat currencies like US dollars. But DAI is a decentralized cryptocurrency that's backed by other cryptocurrencies, okay? And it has an algorithm essentially that helps maintain its peg. So that's what this is. And it's crazy to see, the CITI Bank report talking about the future of money, talking about MakerDAO and how it works, sort of the decentral bank, okay? Sorry, my phone's blowing up here. So we're seeing more coverage of that, more people getting educated on DeFi. Pretty crazy. We see another one. I don't know, I keep talking about DeFi reports here, but this is a lot of stuff that you should go check out for sure. Another report that I want to call to your attention here. This is homework for you all. If you want to read something like this and actually understand more about DeFi, why it's such a big deal. So this is from Arthur Hayes, so he's quite a character. From BitMEX, okay, was once at large, but you can go read his thesis here on long-lived DeFi. So it's pretty crazy. I recommend you go check this out, read it, understand it. It'll help you give a better. You'll see more clearly why this stuff is so important, especially when I have a big finance background, which that's okay. Like, I didn't have a strong finance background whenever I got into blockchain. I've been a blockchain developer for many years now. I got into space in 2017 because I was fascinated with cryptocurrency prices. Okay, I saw Bitcoin basically caught my attention, Ethereum caught my attention, other cryptocurrencies going up like crazy in price, and then I was like, well, so why? So that got me really interested in the tech. And then going down the rabbit hole, that got me interested in all the other things. Okay, so what do you do with blockchains, with finance, all this kind of stuff? And I had a pretty basic understanding of, economics, finance, investing, interest rates before, but going down the DeFi rabbit hole and with blockchain really changed that. So part of that journey was learning how a lot of the stuff actually worked. What are we building? How does it work? How does the old stuff work? And you'll get an understanding of that by reading something like this. So it's pretty good. Highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. So let's see. Next thing I want to talk about here. We got a lot. I mean, there's a lot more stuff from like mainstream coverage. We see more people jumping on the ETH train as far as buying it, institutional adoption, exposure through Grayscale, Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. But I wanted to stop and just make sure we have any questions in the chat here. So I don't have any links. I can put the link in the live chat here. So if you want to check the live chat at this point, I can put the link in there. Here's the tweet. Okay. Somebody says Doge is barking. Yeah, so let's go back and check on the Doge and see how it's doing. I can't believe this is real. It's so crazy. I mean, I think a lot of things happen in the crypto markets that absolutely surprise other people, especially people who've been here for a long time. I mean, it always will. It'll always surprise you. There will always be things that go way up higher in price than you thought they ever would. There'll be some things that don't move like you thought they would. And I think we're seeing Doge as an example of one of those that has shocked a lot of people. So it's just crazy, crazy. So somebody says, how do we explain the value of cryptocurrency to someone who isn't in the space? So that is a really good question, okay? Because this is a hotly debated topic. Like, how do you value cryptocurrencies in the first place? Okay, there's a lot of different models for how people do it. There's a lot of different, sort of theses, different explanations for why they maintain their value. At the end of the day, it's really just about supply and demand, just like anything else, okay? So is there demand for it? Is there supply for it? Is the demand bigger than the supply, et cetera, et cetera? That's what causes the price to go up, okay? So I know that's not a very satisfying explanation for a lot of people, but it's kind of hard to know. They're basically, they don't work like stocks. So it doesn't represent equity in a company. Different cryptocurrencies do different things. Bitcoin has this narrative for digital gold. I mean, some people think that cryptocurrencies essentially just derive their value, or how do the prices go up? Essentially, from people think it from narratives, human emotion, sentiment about what it's for. I mean, there is intrinsic value in the ability to have a peer-to-peer digital cash network. Okay, where you can basically send things around quickly, all that kind of stuff, digital scarcity, all that, right? But trying to then say it's for that reason it has to be worth this price. There's lots of different models for how people project a certain price. We have stock to flow. We have lots of different models for that. We have people talk about Metcalfe's law, network effects being models for price. We have price to fees with DeFi protocols, networks, all that kind of stuff, kind of like price to earnings. There's lots of different models, and then some people think that the models people use to value stocks in the first place aren't any good at all. So it's a hotly debated topic. There's no real simple answer to say, hey, this is how you value cryptocurrencies. Okay, it's kind of crazy. So if anybody has a good favorite model that they want to talk about, leave it in the comment section down below. So somebody says, a while ago, talk about Web 3.0 being the next possible big thing. So I do think that that's possible, okay? Of course, no guarantees, not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go FOMO into Web3 projects and wait there for the price to go up. That thesis could be wrong, but that is thinking about, hey, how do these markets work? How do these tech trends work? Well, basically, we find something that takes the spotlight for a little while, and then gains popularity, and it might fizzle out in popularity for a little while, or just kind of cool down. We talk about sort of that Gartner hype cycle. If y'all are familiar with that, I like to kind of bring these things back up regularly so that you understand and give you sort of mental models to understand how the space works. But let's pull it up. Like the Gartner hype cycle. So basically, this is like sort of like a curve for people's excitement about something, then it kind of dies down, and then it goes back up and plateaus. So this is what happens a lot with the sort of smaller trends within blockchain. This of course happens with the larger blockchain and crypto trend as a whole, but it also happens with sort of sub trends that come on the scene underneath it. So DeFi, for example, NFTs, DeFi experienced this explosion of excitement, and then kind of like over last summer, and then, you know, in the fall, it really kind of fell down, and now it's kind of on this slow rise. Okay, it's kind of had ups and downs, but that's sort of what it's like. People talk about the crypto, the J curve. That's kind of what this is like, the J curve. So you see this with the IPOs all the time. You saw this with the, you see those other cryptos, they hit the scene, they start here, they go way up here, they dump, and then they slowly rise. So we could see a similar type of thing happen with Web3. I don't think we've really hit this part of the Web3 trend. It's just natural. It's natural people look for the next new kind of shiny thing, and I think that's one of the next new shiny things that really has promise. Again, it's always not financial advice, but I think we'll see it sooner rather than later. Somebody said DeFi is king like Ethereum. I think DeFi is gonna be big. I personally hold DeFi projects. I think it's here for the long term. The other thing about DeFi and some of these projects is some people have a bet on DeFi as sort of part of their sort of multi-chain thesis. I've talked about a lot on this channel. People about, are we going to live in a multi-chain world? We'll have to wait and see, to tell you the truth. I'm not 100% convinced that we'll live in a multi-chain world where, all these blockchains have, this equal market share. That's what a lot of people say when they say multi-chain. They're trying to justify, they just don't like competition, you know what I mean? And they don't like, they don't like the idea that a project could like lose and not really ever gain adoption. Some people say multi-chain, they think of this pie, right? And they think of like, oh, everybody's just gonna have an equal slice of this pie, but that's not really how the world works in many cases. You typically have like one or two things that have a massive part of the market share. It just depends on what it is. It depends on what it is. There's some things where everybody kind of has a relatively equal slice. There are some things where, some people have a disproportionate amount of activity. I think we're probably headed towards a world where one or two or maybe three blockchains has a disproportionate amount of activity and the other ones don't have much. Doesn't mean they can't exist. And I could be totally wrong in that thesis, right? Like, it's fine. It's fine if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to, I don't lead anybody astray with that prediction. But the reason I bring it up is because some people think we will live in a multi-chain world. There's a lot of activity on all these other chains, and DeFi is potentially, like the DeFi play is essentially a way to benefit from that, because if you are in a DeFi project that expands into other chains, then you get exposure to that. So that's one thing that people think about DeFi. I think it's an interesting take. Another take on the multi-chain thesis, let's just say, that my prediction is closer to reality, where we have a huge amount of market share by a few chains, and then a dozen or more chains are sort of fighting for scraps. Well, but think about the actual total pie size. So let's just say that 10% of the pie is being fought over by a dozen or so chains. Then if the pie is big enough, it's still worth it, right? It's still, you see this like search engines, for example, like DuckDuckGo. It's a pretty small search engine, but there's a lot of online search activity that still justifies its existence, and they're doing well. You know what I mean? Same thing with like Bing. Same thing with any other smaller search engines, when almost everybody uses Google. So it's a very nuanced conversation, okay? And like I said, I could be wrong about my thesis with that. I don't say it with a ton of confidence, but that's what I see is probably likely in this case. Somebody says, what exactly is layer 2? So layer 2 is a second layer built on top of Ethereum that derives its security from the base Ethereum chain. So basically, this is a way to scale Ethereum, make it faster, make it cheaper to use without having to wait for Ethereum 2.0. And we'll also have it long-term on Ethereum 2.0. So basically, one of the biggest complaints about Ethereum is it's too slow, too expensive. Well, if you build a layer 2, it's a second layer on top of the blockchain that handles a lot of the computation. It makes it faster, makes it cheaper, and then the result of that settled on top of the base chain, okay? So we're seeing layer 2 solutions be developed in full force. There's lots of competition in this space. And I think, mid-summer, we're going to start seeing layer 2 really heat up. And you're going to be able to jump on apps and start using layer 2, and it's going to be awesome. I think summer is going to be crazy for the Ethereum space. Somebody says, just joined, loving the Doge pump. Robinhood and crypto.com seem to be blocking buys. Anyone else having the same thing? That's crazy. Oh, do we have tokenized Doge on DeFi? I wonder if we do. Like, can you trade Doge on Uniswap, like an ERC20 version of Doge? I don't know. I don't really jump into the Doge hype, but if we don't, that'd be could probably be a benefit. Somebody says Doge is about to pop again. It's consolidating. It might. Somebody says ETH 2.0 will still be inferior to other blockchains. With no support for that statement. Somebody says wrapped Doge. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Wrapped Doge. Can we trade it on Uniswap? Somebody says no, you can't trade Doge on Uniswap. I mean, I know you can't actually like connect the Doge blockchain to Uniswap. I know that. I'm saying some people will like tokenize their cryptocurrency and make an ERC20 token version of it and put it on Ethereum so that you can trade on Uniswap. This happened all the time. It was kind of ironic. We see like the ETH killers tokenize their assets so that if you trade it on Uniswap. Like, oh my gosh, the irony. Somebody says, can Cardano and ETH both grow and coexist long term? I think so. Somebody says, am I invested in Doge? I don't hold any Doge. What's my prediction about Doge after 1-2 weeks? No idea. I don't think anybody can really predict what's going to happen with Doge at this point. This has totally surprised me. It surprised everybody. I mean, not financial advice. I'd be a little scared to buy into Doge right now at this price level. It's got a long way to go down. Somebody said the DeFi on Bitcoin. Maybe. We'll see. I doubt it. Somebody says Doge is on the dive now. Yeah, it might be. Let's go check it out, actually. And then we'll wrap up for today. So let's check on the last Doge price here. So 0.38, let's see here. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It could just be a little temporary correction there. All right, everybody. So that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you like these videos, you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, how can you get your hands dirty today? You can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find any of my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. If you like those, you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, actually become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right, so my camera kind of freaks out when I do that. Anyways, you don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. All right, so that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.